Hey guys, it's Brian with Elion Design Solutions. Welcome back. Today we're going to go over using in Autocad for 3D. We're going to use the 3D array command. We're also going to use the loft command, and we're also going to go over a more in-depth version of the sweep command. And those on the toolbar would be the 3D array, would be this guy right here. And you see the little example of what you could do there. You took that little plate and rotated it all the way around. That would be a polar array. The next one was loft. That's this one. Which basically you take 2D shapes that are on different XYZ planes, and it creates a 3D model of that. Usually a pretty neat result. Something that would normally take quite a while and probably have to use meshes to get the result that it gives you. And lastly but not least would be the sweep command. And we did this one the other day with this exact example using the helix, rotating a circle around it, basically creating a tube or a spring. Really, you can use that for like the threads on a screw, if you know your number of turns and whatnot. If you guys are designing playground equipment, you could probably do that for like slides, or if you have some kind of, anything you can use that for. That's a really neat one. So let's get going. All right, 3D array. It's a pretty cool one. You can do it the way it showed in the example, being there is a polar array, which is that one, or the rectangular array, which basically if you use the rectangular array, you can achieve something that looks like a Rubik's Cube really quick without having to do a bunch of copying. It doesn't have to be, you can have as many columns and levels and rows as you want, which would give you different results, but essentially what you would be doing is creating a cube with a bunch of different shapes. Now you don't have to use, I did this once before with a cube, and I think now I'm going to actually use let's use a sphere. And you could use 2D objects if you wanted to. You don't have to use 3D. But since this is a 3D tutorial, we'll use 3D objects. So what you want to do with that is let's draw our first shape. And I want to make this one 10. Okay. Alright, so it'll help us out doing something in a few minutes, and I'll show you just having a known value. Alright, so and that was RE enter. That's how it got smooth, regenerated it. So if I come way out here and I regenerate RE enter, and then I come in, see how like blocky and choppy it is? If I RE enter, well, I lied. RE enter, REG. Oh, there it goes. Okay, yeah, it was locked up. Anyway, so what we're going to do is use the 3D array command. So we're going to select it. Now we're going to select our object. Bam, there we go. And it says select objects, which we've done. So we're going to select enter. Now we're going to go with a polar array. We'll do that one first, similar to the example. Polar is right there. So you hit P. You can click on it if you're in 2018 or similar, and yeah, or you can just type in P. Alright, so the number of items, let's just say 12. But before we do that, I did this a few minutes ago, forgot to establish my center point. So I'm just going to go here to say here. You'll see why in a minute, why you have to have a center point. Pretend there's like a tube running here, and these objects have to go all the way around the tube, or whatever, whatever it is. It could be bolt holes. Pretend these are bolts, and it's going around a seal, and you want that bolt to go all the way around, that seal in order to create those holes. So similar thing. So pretend this is like the center of a pipe of some sort. So we're going to go into 3D array real quick, select it, enter. We're going to do polar there, and enter number of items. Let's just say 12. Why not? There's 12 numbers on the clock. So 360 would mean it would go all the way around the circle. If not, it's just, if you do 180, it's just going to go half. So 360, which is fine. You can do that. This is a sphere, so it doesn't matter if it's rotated. If it was anything other than a sphere, then it would matter whether or not it was. So we can just default say yes. Center point of the array, we can say here, and it's going to rotate around this dotted line, and you'll see in a second. See, it went around that line. If not, it would do a weird shape over there. So if these were, imagine if these were bolts, if the shape was an actual bolt, which I've done thousands of times, where were putting it around a gasket of some sort, and they had to go, you had to have that, and it's just a pain to have to painstakingly position these perfectly. With this right here, if you do the math correctly, you'll know exactly how many you can put in, and then it'll throw them in there for you without having to do a bunch of hand modeling, basically. And then all you'd have to do is just tweak it. Alright, so that's a cool one there. Alright, next one, let's do polar array. Rectangular array. Let's use the torus. And say 10. And let's come in with that little guy. Or little girl, whichever one you want it to be. So what we're going to do is, again, we're using 3D array. There's a couple different ways you can use it. Command 3D array. So we'll select our object, say yes. Rectangular this time, even see it's defaulted to rectangular right here. Anytime something's in brackets, that means it's defaulted to that. So all you have to do is hit enter. Now, number of rows. Rows are going to go this way. If you look at the crosshair, the green direction. Your columns are going to go that kind of pinkish color on the crosshairs this way, and then when it calls for your levels, it's going to go in that bluish color, which would be your Z or your Z axis. So green is Y, pink is X, and then Z or Z is blue. So we're at enter number of rows. Remember, green was rows. So we're going to say, let's just say 5. Enter the number of columns. Columns are going this way, so let's just say, I don't know, 5. And the number of levels. Let's just, for whatever, just say 5. Now we need, this is why we kind of wanted to know the distance. The distance between rows, I'm going to say, because we know that's 10, and some change, let's say 15. Hopefully this will work correctly. And then we'll just say 15 all the way across, and it actually shows you the direction, what it's doing there, and then the distance between levels, we'll just say 15 again. And obviously I did not separate them far enough, but nonetheless you see where, because apparently it was larger than 15. That's why it was important to know how, when you're using this particular function, how big your object is. We can do that real quick again with a square. Squares or cubes are a little easier to do. We'll try to do it a little quicker. So we'll go there, just bring her up. So we'll go to 3D array, and you get a better result. Go here, select objects, enter rectangular, or number of, let's just say 6. I'll just say 6 and 6, and then the distance between the rows. Alright, so here's where it was important. The rows, we'll just go slightly past that guy. Distance between columns, let's rotate it around just slightly past it, so it's not touching. So when the next one starts, it'll be fine. And then here again, go slightly above it, so there'll be a bit of a gap between them. I did that wrong again, guys. What the world? I think I'm getting my rows and my columns mixed up. I'm very lying to you guys. Alright, I was trying to do something real quick, but alright, one last time. So we'll go here, there, number of rows, 5, 5, 5. Between that's rows. Let's try to go rows this way. Distance between rows, let's say here. Or did I do that before? Yep, I did it backwards before. So let's go here. This is a row. Distance between columns is going to be just slightly past. I hope this is not the way I did it before, and a little bit above. Alright, that looks a little better. That looks better. So see how they're all individual. I didn't go far enough back with it, but you get the idea. Just mess with it, and you'll see. And you can actually erase. You can erase. Yeah, that's what happened. I had the rows and the columns mixed up. If you reorient what you're calling a row and a column, you'll be fine. You can erase, ones that you want in there, center ones, or you can actually even make all these one thing. So union, which joins everything together, doesn't even have to be touching. So we're going to select everything. So now, see that it's all one. It thinks it's one solid piece. It really is not. But so for adding materials, it really speeds it up when you do that. If you're all you have to do is drag and touch one piece when you're adding your materials from the materials manager, versus having to add individual ones like that. That would take some time. Okay, that's the 3D array. You guys just play around with that. You get some really neat results. You can copy. Basically, it's a copy command that would really speed your time up. And if you're familiar with array and regular 2D drawing, you'll be much more acclimated to pick it up quicker. And I do apologize about getting the columns and rows mixed up. But anyway, you got some neat results out of it. So let's look at a more complex sweep. I did this one a little earlier, kind of messed up on me. It can be fickle. So what I like to do is if you start out with, say, a spline, S-P-L-I-N-E, and that's just basically an arc and a polyline mixed together that has as many points as you want. So we're just going to go here, there, there. Let's go down, say, over. Alright, see how the key thing here you got to pay attention to, guys, when you do this, make sure that whatever shape you're drawing won't touch itself as it passes by here. Like, say if this line was really close to that one, like that, so when it would go to make the shape, and if the shape had a big enough diameter, it wouldn't be able to do it because it doesn't know how to calculate that. So I think that was my problem before. Cross my fingers. Hopefully we'll be able to get it right this time. So what we want to do is we're going to try to, and if you see on the sweep, if you see on the example here, basically what you're doing is you're taking a 2D shape and press pulling it or extruding it about a line that has different XYZ locations on it. Where you see this that helical shape just spiraled all the way up. I mean, it wasn't just like a straight line where you just extrude. Basically, this is a powerful extrude command or press pull command. So what we're going to do, and you can do it with any shape. So you can say I don't know, let's use a polygon, P-O-L, polygon there. Basically, a polygon is like the pentagon, or a hex head bolt, or whatever. Or a square. A square is a polygon if you identify having 4 sides. Where it's asking for sides here. If you said 4, you'd get a square. But more sides, it's going to look neater on here. So we'll go with, let's just go with 7 sides. The center point would be here, and then inscribed or circumscribed, that's basically the outer points of the angles if they're on the inside of a circle or on the outside of a circle. So here it doesn't really matter because we're just messing around with it. That's if you had constraints you had to stay within. Like, so if the shape had to go inside of a tube, you would want it to be inscribed. If you wanted the shape to wrap around a tube or be bigger than, say, a tube or the center point, then it would be circumscribed. Just think circumnavigation with the if you're flying, you're going around the world, and if you're inscribed, just inside. So kind of easy way to remember. All right, so we're going to do, just say I, it doesn't really matter. The radius, let's just pull it. If we too big, remember, it wouldn't work. So, and I think that was my problem before, but we go here and it should work okay. And if you wanted to, you can when you're doing that, if you took your ortho off, you could have had it rotate a little bit, but to give you different angles. But now what we want to do is 3D rotate this little fella there about the red axis. Put your ortho on, pull it straight up, enter. Alright, just escape out of it. Cross your fingers, hopefully this will work now. I think before that was my problem. So now what we want to do is to sweep it. You can type it in or use the icon. Type it in would be SWEEP. There you go. I like to use this one and a couple other ones. I really like to use typing because some of the different computers I work on don't have everything loaded, so you're kind of forced to memorize. But all right, so first thing you're going to do with sweep command is select your object. Then you want to do is select your path. Really pay attention to the command line down here, guys. So, and the path would be this. And look at that. See what it did is it took that shape and just zipped it around there, and now you've got a really neat shape. If you had some kind of custom clamp spring piece of bent metal for, like, say, a wrought iron gate you guys were doing for architectural work, or I don't know, they're just making a funky piece of Twizzler candy, I don't know, that's whatever. I mean, you can really, like I said, most of this stuff is there's limitless on the applications. Alright, and then the last thing we wanted to go over, actually no, that was it, wasn't it? Alright, we did that little, oh no, we wanted to go over loft, that's right. Let's use the, threw me off because we had 3 different examples. We want to use the loft command. Alright, so let's look at this on, let's draw the loft. If you remember from the looking at it earlier, it takes 2D shapes and 2D wireframe shapes, and which are on different XYZ points, and it connects them. See how in the pink there, the 2D wireframe, I can't really move my mouse or it'll go away. The first point, the second point, and the third point are on different Z-axis planes and slightly different X and Y locations as well, and you result in that shape you see in pink there to the right. So let's try this out. Let's do a rectangle first, just to see what happens. REC. Again, you guys, come on. You guys remember to save if you're doing this. I'm not saving mine because it's just something real quick we're doing here. Make sure you're saving your work. I've gotten burned on that more times than I want to admit. So let's just pretend we're saving right now. Alright, you start getting a lot of stuff in and it can clog your stuff up. Alright, so REC for rectangle. I'm just going to draw that little guy there. Now what we can do is copy it up. CO enter. Left click to solidify your point. What you can do now to locate the center point of a rectangle quickly, you can just draw corner to corner. And I'm going to rotate this around just to get my angles in a different, my corners in a different spot. Now we can rotate RO. I'm going to go about this center point. Turn your ortho off. Alright, so now we'll, well, actually, I'm going to keep that on there because I want to draw about that center point. So now let's do a circle. C, enter, left click, and then another left click for your total radius or diameter. Actually, I want to make it a little bit bigger. You can select the shape and just with those pick boxes, drag it out to where you want. I'm gonna move this up. That was M, enter. Turn your ortho on. Now what we can do, I'm gonna move it over a little bit. I'm gonna do another circle about this here. I'm gonna actually do a couple of them. And then say, what's another shape we can do? We can say, yeah, let's do a polygon. Why not? Let's turn that middle one to be a polygon. P-O-L. We want it 7 sides. That's fine. We're just going to do this really quick. Polygon, select center of the circle. That's what it's asking. Is there. Next, saying option inscribed circumcised. So we want this one to be inscribed, be around this circle, inside this circle here. So I. It's already defaulted, but I'll do it anyway. See how the angles are on the inside. If circumscribed, it would have been on. See how it's on the outside there? That would have been circumscribed. This is inscribed. Now, it does it for you automatically if you tell it to, which we did. And now what we can do is copy this up. CO, enter, and there you go. And just move, drag it up. And let me erase this one. So we're going to copy this one up, and I'm going to scale him down just a little bit, just for effect. Say 0.5. All right. So that looks kind of. That's actually. Yeah. So what we can do is basically what it's going to do. See, guys. Yeah, I thought I was drawing correctly, but I wasn't. I'm just going to do so it connects to there. I moved it over there, and now I'm just going to move it. That's why you can get messed up if you're not drawing on the a respected defined plane. Maybe kind of should be right now, but I'm trying to show you guys multiple things at one time. So we're just shift, middle clicking, rotating. So alright, sorry about that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to loft it. And I usually start with the biggest or the bottom and go up. And we're going to left click and just left click all the way. See how it looks kind of weird now? It's because that shape kind of turned. Oh, something happened. Alright, let's try it again. There. What if you can just highlight all of them? There it goes. There it goes. Just hit enter a couple times to lock in that selection. And see what it did is it took all of those shapes and it connected them. And just to kind of get some neat results here, let's play with their materials manager real quick. M-A-T-E-R, so you guys can get accustomed to doing those. And let's just do something real quick. We'll make some. What are you doing? Should be. Alright. J-A-G. I don't know what's going on with it. There it goes. It wouldn't let me do it a second ago. See there? It's kind of cool, guys. It's like a. And it does have some issues whenever it starts wrapping around curved areas, so forewarning there. Some of it doesn't. So now if we just go say with I don't know, make this tile or something. So it's actually there's actually surface bump mapping on there, which is actually kind of cool, which makes it look like it has roughness to it. And let's do make one of these guys marble. See how it's shiny. And match properties, MA. That's kind of neat looking. Here, when we can say these can be, I don't know, let's just say METAL, metal. Let's see what we can come up with. That's something shiny. What's something looks good shiny? Glazed here. So there's a match property, MA. And you could do whatever ones you want. You don't even have to do this, guys. We're just doing this to kind of show you how you can play with some of the effects. So if we rendered this guy, and we're not going to add lights to it, but we're just going to render it just to see what it looks like. RR enter. That was one I did before, messing with. So you can kind of see kind of what it looks like. And we're a little bit big, so if we come in a little bit, zoom in, RR enter. So you can kind of see. And if you type in perspective, PERSP, and then you turn it on with 1, just zoom out. Usually it has some crazy weird zoom factor to it. So let's just see what these guys look like. Let's make this go away if it'll let me. The screen aspect ratio is a little weird. Alright, there we go. So it's a little dark, but you can kind of see how there's a little bit of sheen on them, which is kind of cool. It's kind of zooming is really kind of weird when you're doing perspective work. It says RR enter. And some neat little shapes there, guys. Alright, well, I appreciate you guys staying with me this long, using the 3D array, loft, and sweep commands in a 3D way. So if you would, give me a thumbs up, give me some comments. You know, if you'd like to see me focus more on a particular subject, if there's something you're having trouble with, maybe I can try to help. I'm not even going to pretend to know everything, but I can do my best to help you guys out, or ladies. Also, some of the best draftsmen I've known or draft ladies, were they were women. So I know some very talented women. But anyway, so what we can do is, you guys just give me some thumbs up and like what we got going on here, and look for some additional stuff coming in the future, and we'll catch you later. I appreciate it. Thanks.